The places we live and work are big emitters of carbon. As the human population grows and we face the increasing challenges of climate change, there is an urgent need to decarbonise our cities, suburbs, the places we work, the transport we use, and our homes.
But the big question is, how do we do it? I'm Josh Byrne, Dean of Sustainable Futures here at Curtin University in Perth. Together with an amazing team of researchers from around Australia, we're going to dive into a 3-year intensive project with industry to transform carbon-intensive cities through Net Zero Precincts. This is going to be a game changer.
This is an extraordinary time to be alive.
The way to overcome the grand challenge that we're all facing.
A future that we urgently need.
It's not a theoretical project which will be kept in books.
We are creating the whole next economy.
We could actually take that to the rest of the world.
It's actually going to be applied.
And show the world how to do it.
The sooner the better.
Race for 2030 is an industry-led Cooperative Research Centre focused on accelerating the transition to reliable, affordable and clean energy. And this project is called Pathways to Net Zero Precincts. In the race to reduce our carbon emissions and reach net zero, all the things we humans build and the systems we rely on need to undergo a massive transformation. And the built environment is a really important part of that equation, with buildings accounting for around 19% of total energy use and 18% of direct carbon emissions in Australia. So that's why the built environment is at the heart of this collaborative research project. So what do we mean by a precinct? Well, to put it simply, a precinct refers to a built area with defined boundaries and shared infrastructure. So for example, this university campus is a mixed-use precinct. This infill housing development is part of a residential precinct. And this business park is in a light industrial precinct. The scale of precincts is perfect for trialling new ideas, implementing new technologies, and the collection of data.
The research will be framed around 4 pathways, which you could think of as themes, to pull together learnings from a range of case studies across the country.
Each pathway will be led by one of 4 world-renowned professors who bring decades of experience to the research team. Pathway 1 is urban design, led by Professor Rina Tawari, with a focus on collaborative planning and modelling to inform the development of net zero precincts.
What is needed is to bring all the stakeholders together on one page, on one platform. And that is where our project steps in. It offers this digital tool, digital platform, where all stakeholders come together and they discuss, they design, and they decide their own pathway.
Pathway 2, Net Zero Precinct Certification, will be led by Professor Peter Newman.
Certification's an important part of that whole process of transition. And that's really one of the first things you do on any project. You can certify it at the design phase and see how net zero can be part of the plan that you're working on. So we'll be showing the developers, the local governments, the builders, the communities, that's the kind of thing that is going to lead the way into the next economy.
Pathway 3 is Net Zero Precinct Consumer Energy Resources and Grid Integration, led by Professor Peter Ashworth.
Precincts are a microcosm of the whole world. Having them as an applied area of study means that we can take that and zoom it out much further. It allows us to learn, to trial innovation, and then from that replicate that out to others. If you think about distributed energy, It's looking at those different parts, batteries, EVs and so forth. And what we've worked out is actually most people that are owning those, whether it's small industry, consumers on their rooftops, it's actually consumers. But if we think about microgrids, which I think applies a lot within these systems, is actually the smaller parts. And that integration, I think, is where we're most interested.
Pathway 4 is Net Zero Precinct Governance and will be led by Professor Petra Chakert.
I'm certainly very much convinced that what we need is a better understanding of energy democracy, energy justice, who has a voice in transition pathways, whose voices are heard, and how is power negotiated, distributed? And I don't mean electricity. I mean really the power we share when it comes to decision making. Our research is going to look at the differences in visions, the differences in agendas, the differences in technological knowledge, understanding, learning processes, drilling into these knotty problems around sharing power.
The important thing about this research is we're investigating real-world projects that are testing the latest low-carbon technologies and practices to see what works and what can be done better.
Like here at the Knutsford Urban Regeneration Precinct, spread across a 23-hectare former industrial area, which is set to be transformed into a vibrant, sustainable community over the next decade. A 1.5-hectare parcel called East Village by Development WA is already well underway and is equipped with solar PV, shared battery storage and electric vehicle fast charging for our research to plug into. Naomi Lawrence is the Senior Development Manager for the project.
It's a busy construction site with lots going on.
Sure is. We're standing right in the middle of East Village Precinct. You will notice on this side we've also got some apartment sites, but this is a shared street that we're in at the moment. It's got shared community facilities, a beautiful landscape here, and by the time these trees mature, this will all be beautifully shaded as well.
One of the great things about including this precinct as a case study is we'll get to see it build out over the life of the project and hopefully really test some of the innovations that are in place and then share that in near real time as the place is built.
Yeah, it's a fabulous opportunity, and that's what's really exciting about the fact that we are under construction, and we will actually see both the research and the development go together and hopefully some fabulous outcomes down the track.
Further south at Peel Business Park, Development WA are looking to evaluate the operations of a first-stage solar and battery-based system for enabling green, light industrial development. The project development manager is Dave Morgan.
This is a great setup. What's the capacity of the system?
Within the microgrid lot, the capacity is 1 megawatt of solar array and a 2 megawatt hour battery, but that can be expanded within the precinct on rooftop going forwards.
So to have a case study like this as part of our research project is fantastic. The fact you're looking to scale up and for our research to be able to align with that is super exciting.
And it gives us the opportunity to explore areas where we can optimize and fine-tune with industry and use this initiative as a voice, create some regulatory changes to actually streamline its implementation and scaling going forwards.
At residential development Rivermark, land developer Hesperia will be working with the research team to evaluate a new renewable energy subscription service that they're trialling at the site. Mark Taylor is the Sustainability Manager at Hesperia.
Rivermark being a land development, a residential land development, means that our ability to just determine how energy is delivered here is somewhat limited. We looked at a couple of different models. One was to create a microgrid here where we would make sure that the only electricity available was renewable energy, but we weren't really certain enough to proceed. What we realised was that there was probably another way where we could kind of incentivise those households to still put in that renewable energy and to also put in batteries, which is really the problem we're trying to crack. What we really want to do is a project that's supporting the grid and the transition to renewable energy. Come up with a kind of model here where we're showing people that if we lease them a battery, that they can come out with a financial benefit and 100% renewable energy, and with their solar power feeding into the system when it's needed.
As the Net Zero Precincts research project progresses, a wide variety of case studies will be explored across Australia, providing access to real-world trials where our 4 research pathways can work directly with industry, government and community. We are excited to provide you with open access as it all unfolds, with fact sheets, research findings and videos, all available via the website. Follow the journey at netzeroprecincts.au. We're looking forward to bringing you more.
As the clock ticks on this critical decade of climate action, our aim with this project is to help unlock pathways to decarbonise the built environment as quickly as possible.